This is Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Once a thriving southern city, now many say it's one of the most troubled places in the state. I've never been here before, but honestly, I kinda sorta know what to expect. Before coming here, I read comment after comment from people who lived in this city, and it wasn't pretty. Just throw the whole town in the garbage can. This place is a nightmare. Don't live here. I live in Pine Bluff. I wouldn't recommend Pine Bluff to anyone who wants a good quality of life. I wouldn't even Google Pine Bluff without body armor on. These aren't headlines. These are real comments from people who actually live here. So today, there's no agenda. There's no outside influence, no editing tricks. We're just gonna drive through Pine Bluff together and see what's actually here. I think as we're now entering Pine Bluff, and it looks like there's an abandoned mall right here that I wanna check out. Looks like there's definitely no one shopping here. And this is right off of the main street as you're driving into Pine Bluff. Let me see. It looks like there's maybe more down the other way, but looks like this is the very end of it, so I wanted to check this space, this little anchor store out over here. Look at that stop sign. Okay, I'm gonna head back this other way. Just wanted to see, because in a lot of malls there's signs and whatnot, and probably, I'm assuming, some of this stuff is still up, but I wanted to see what this other side. So this is that main entrance. Some of the store signs are still up. Kind of eerie. Let's see. Let me drive over this way. All right, that stop sign is completely faded.
Broken glass.
Looks like popcorn, Mexican grill. This is the food court area that they used to have. Definitely seen better days. Now, this is kind of interesting. I've never seen a Dillard's clearance store, but if you notice that Dillard's is, like a normal, I guess, sign on the building, the clearance looks like...
Yeah, we do have.
What? Okay, I do need to show you the hay bales that are out by the side. If you think about Arkansas, it's definitely Arkansas is a rural area, but it looks like an abandoned hotel maybe over there. But I just saw those hay bales, so I wanted to come back. But I don't know if this store's always been a clearance center, but it looks like the clearance was added later on. All right, so leaving the mall area, back on that main road. Some torn down signs. That hotel does not look, I doubt it. No one's staying there right now. I don't know if it's still even open. But one of the things about Pine Bluff is their population, right? And it's been in a steady decline for literally over a decade, over the last 10 years. When I looked at some of the stats on it, it looked like it roughly dropped about, it dropped about 19 to 20%, so call it 20% over the last 10 years. When I looked at the demographics, it was about half and half, a female to male ratio. I think it was 52% female. And when you're looking at the races, it was predominantly African American, 77%, and then 17% white. And when you look at like recent year-to-year data, it shows that the city is continuing to shrink about 1 to 2% every year. So the city is kind of in this slow decline, right? You can kind of see some of the abandoned places of a once more thriving area. Guy just hanging out in the middle of the road. It's another little abandoned area. Well, looks like there's someone, so maybe there's some life up there. To me, one of the more startling things that of statistics that I came across is that Pine Bluff is safer than 1% of U.S. cities. Is that crazy? Crime is really, really bad. Let me show you this graph. Let me pop it up on the screen. So I kind of turn it here. Look at that. The purple is Pine Bluff, and the green is the U.S. average. Looking at the stats, chances of becoming a victim of crime is 1 in every 61 people in Pine Bluff, while Arkansas as a state is 1 in 161. So drastic difference there for Pine Bluff. Violent crimes, you ask? The national median is right at 4 per 1,000 residents. Arkansas as a state is less than that at 6.2 per 1,000, but Pine Bluff, or a lot of the locals and others outside of it call it Crime Bluff, which did crack me up. But Crime Bluff, or Pine Bluff, is 16.49. That's over 4 times the national median number. So again, the national number being 4, 16.49 for Pine Bluff. Getting into some of the neighborhoods, trying to see. The violent crime rate in Pine Bluff is also really elevated. Here's kind of an abandoned lot in the middle of this neighborhood. Like a pizza place used to be here, maybe? Big Banjo Pizza. But the violent crime is also high in Pine Bluff. The stat I saw, it said 1,500 violent crimes per 100,000 residents. And so the national average is around 360. So the national average being 360, and then Pine Bluff being at 1,500. That's almost 5 times that amount, or for sure over 4 times. It's just got a high crime rate in general for everything around here. Property crimes were also really high. I think the online website I was looking at looked at, the rates thousands per 100,000 residents, well above the national average as well. So overall, a lot of issues with crime in the city. Consistently ranks, Pine Bluff, the city, consistently ranks as like one of the top most dangerous cities in Arkansas for both violent and property crimes. And then again, with that stat, it says that it's safer than only 1% of cities in America, which is kind of wild. But it's just high crime, right? With a lower population, really kind of jumps up those numbers, those averages. One thing that was kind of shocking to me was politics. Not that I'm a big political guy, but Arkansas in the South, most southern states are all red in general. And so I just kind of assumed it would be red as well, right? Pine Bluff. But plot twist here, the county, this looks like an abandoned school, Indiana Street School, is that what that said? The county is all blue, predominantly blue. So the Pine Bluff, this city, this county votes blue, while Arkansas as a whole is a red state and typically votes red. I guess I wouldn't have, I guess I wouldn't have thought that about Arkansas in general, but Pine Bluff is the anomaly here in this county in general. As you kind of look at some of these homes, and I want to look at some others, I'm heading towards the downtown area as I'm driving. But per capita income was right at $21,276, which is less than, if you do the math on that, that's less than $2,000 a month that the per capita income people are living on. That home looks abandoned. And there's another empty lot right next to it. The median household income was a little over 41,000. I think it was 41,250 bucks for the median household income, which is significantly lower than the U.S. averages. The home values, the median home value was right at 86,000, and then the median rent was $831. Look at this home. It's completely overtaken by nature. I don't know if you can see it from the front. Let me just see this side. Look at that. That's wild. Well, we're kind of looking at some of this. Pine Bluff also, has a poverty rate well above the national and state average, hovering around 25 to 26% of residents living below the poverty line. That's, 1 in every 4 people you pass on the street living in poverty. And what was crazy is it showed an even bigger jump for children under 18. It showed that children under 18, it was a 36% poverty rate, which that's sad. It's like the city's median home values and those incomes really paint a picture, right, of this more challenging area, this city that's, it's got a difficult road to be able to recover. And so I think a lot of these visuals or things that we're seeing kind of matches the stats that I read online. This house is all boarded up. It's another house that's overtaken by nature. I'm making my way out. I thought it would be interesting to see the downtown area, so I'm making my way over towards that.
Here's City Hall.
Okay, I think that was, yeah, so this is where police are at, maybe like the community or civic center area of Pine Bluff. There's the police station. Here's your post office right here. So I think I'm getting, this is actually the downtown. Look at the streets here. And not only are they torn up and beat up, but I mean, all these, I don't know what if this is actually open. If you're a business or trying to recruit someone here, right? Just think about trying to take someone downtown, and the city definitely has a challenging road ahead of it to kind of recover. Obviously, with the crime and everything else, and the income, it's just compounded challenges that it's going to have. There's the train. I've been hearing a train. I don't really want to go straight into that, so we'll see. Look at this building, it's all boarded up. Let me see what's down this way. I wonder what this, I mean, I don't know what this would have or used to be, but a lot of these, all this kind of looks closed. Looks like there's like an old, is it apartment building? Maybe even a motel. I don't know, probably an apartment building at one point. Looks like that's definitely an older house. You know what's crazy is for some people that are from here, right, and this is all that they know and how they've grown up, it would be pretty normal. But to me, it's just kind of eye-opening and shocking that people lived like this, and obviously a lot of these are abandoned, so they no longer live there. Looks like that was some sort of daycare. Well, the street just looks, I mean, pretty abandoned in general. Some broken glass or broken windows there. Turn back around and let you see the other side of this road. This is the same road to the other side of this house. Another building overtaken by nature for sure. This is like some sort of old abandoned maybe factory. I told you earlier about I shared some of the statistics, but you really can see it as we're driving through how much the city has just struggled in so many areas and levels. And then with some of these abandoned businesses, you can't really blame them, right? I'm sure that they didn't have the income or the revenue they wanted, and then on top of that, with all the crime, I can't imagine that's a place that many business owners want to bring new businesses to.